Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 13th day of February 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. I hope your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are out here doing their best to save lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create these industries. Finally, double curses, double blessings on the homeless. There are more than 600,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and veterans homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night in Madison Square Garden. What a game. It was overtime. The Knicks win by 1 point, 149-148 over the Atlanta Hawks, and they go into the break 36-18. For the season at this point. I'd say the season has been very successful at this point, and it actually looks better going on the other side of the break. Talking about last night's game, oftentimes I mention that the NBA season is an 82-game grind. It's a marathon. And so oftentimes it's not just the sheer talent of the players that matter as much as their grit, determination, and endurance as well. And the great equalizer in these marathon seasons are the back-to-backs. The back-to-back games, especially the second night of a back-to-back, tests every team. Now, as I also mentioned often, this is the league. And so in the league, you have the 400 or so greatest basketball players on planet Earth. Basketball is a very competitive game on a global level. And so when you are narrowing it down to the crucible of 400 guys, you got really, really good basketball players. And so on any given night, any team can beat any team for various reasons, including the fatigue that comes with an 82-game grind. And so you can always expect on the second night of a back-to-back, it's going to be a tougher game for your team. Just a week ago, the Knicks had a back-to-back, Houston and Toronto. And they beat Houston pretty handily. And then they played the next night in Toronto and started off strong in the first half. And Toronto came back and the Knicks were able to hold them off and win. Very similar situation last night. The thing is, last night's game was ugly, and you get a lot just looking at the stats. There's certain key stats that you can tell the team was tired, right? It was second night back-to-back. It's the last night before the break. That's always a tough night because guys already got their tickets to where they're going. If they're going to some Caribbean island or wherever they're going for the break, they've already got their bags packed, the tickets ready, and they're ready to check out and go on vacation because this is a mid-season kind of vacation for the NBA. So one of the telling stats for the Knicks, turnovers. They had 18 turnovers last night, way too many. They only had 28 assists versus 43 for the Hawks. They got out-rebounded 47-39. On the offensive glass, they got out-rebounded 19-8. And this is where these type of games are where, okay, and this is typical. Like I said, the Knicks started off the game strong. They started off the first quarter strong. They ended the half, I would say, reasonably strong. They ended the half ahead. You know, they were up by about 8 points at the half. Then the third quarter came, and you knew that the tiredness of the legs was going to show up. And it did. And the thing is that at that point of the game, it's gut check time. One of the things about gut check time in the NBA is what you're doing is you're just trying to win the game. You don't care how you win. You don't care how you win the game. It's to win the game, period. Okay? And this is where you get guys like Jalen Brunson or Karl Anthony Towns or Josh Hart, because gut check time is when they show up, okay? And they show up big, okay? So last night it was Karl Anthony Towns. For the most part, Jalen Brunson started off very strong yesterday. Came out the gate strong in the first quarter. But then he quieted down a bit, and it was Karl Anthony Towns carrying the Knicks. And Gato, really, he had 7 threes last night. He was getting to the line, especially when he's able to get to the foul line. He gets fouled every night. The question is, are they going to call it? Well, last night he took 11 foul shots, and that was good. And he was 9 of 11 from the free throw line, 10 boards, and so 44 points. That was carrying the Knicks for the most part. But then at the end, there was some bonehead plays. Gato made the worst play of the night, actually, on an inbound in regulation. A very terrible inbound pass, a lazy inbound pass that was a turnover, and Atlanta scored off of it. See? And so that's what basically caused the game to go into overtime. Again, this is all a function of fatigue. Okay, it's a function of fatigue, and it shows up in stupid plays like that. Again, the good thing is the refs were calling fouls last night. So the Knicks ended up taking, Atlanta took 35 foul shots, the Knicks took 37. And so that's all a function. And then, of course, Precious Achiuwa. Precious Achiuwa came up big on both ends of the floor. 2 big blocks. 26 points, 8 boards, 3 on the offensive end, which him and Josh Hart led the team in that category. And yeah, big time. Precious Achiuwa was big time last night. So that helped also. Mikal Bridges, he had 11 points. He played decent defense, but it really was showing on him. The fatigue. It was showing on him. And his pride would not let him come out of a game, because that's just him. He's a guy that never missed a game, Mr. Iron Man and all that. Deuce McBride, they lost early. He was questionable coming into the game with sore ribs. He had a collision, I think it was Saturday night, or might have been the game before that. He had a collision with somebody, and you could see he was slow to get up. This was a couple of games ago, or maybe it was last game. I didn't know how serious it was, but it showed up in the report that he is questionable. So he only played 8 minutes, and he was done basically second quarter. That was it for him. Then that's why you got Landry Shamet, who played 18 minutes and played well. And then you had Cameron Payne, who played 15 minutes, and he also played well. Both of those guys played well coming off the bench. So it was a gutty, graded out win. And they needed Niang to miss from 3, a front rimmer, for that game to be pulled out. And so we ended up getting the W. It's one of them games, you just take the win and you move on. So now they got the win, they're on vacation. So now they get a chance, Deuce's ribs gets to heal, they get to get OG back, Mitchell Robinson back, everybody comes back after the break. They got a game a week from, they got a game a week from today. And on the 21st. Yeah, they got a game on the 21st of, I think it's Cleveland. Let me just double check the schedule here. But they do have a game on the 21st of February. I just wanted to see, I think it's against Cleveland. I just want to double check here. Yep. No, they got Chicago at the Garden on the 20th. That's next week, Thursday. They got Chicago at the Garden on the 20th. And that's one of a back-to-back. The next night, the 21st on Friday at Cleveland. Then that Sunday at Boston. So they come out the break with a pretty grueling schedule, but they're also rested, right? So you're hoping you're going to get OG back. I'm hoping we get Mitchell Robinson back for at least the game on the 21st at Cleveland. I think that would be a good game for him to come back on. And so it's a back-to-back. They got Chicago, then Cleveland, and then they go to Boston to play the Celtics on the 23rd of February, which is Sunday. So big games coming out the break. I'm glad they stepped into the break with 36 wins. This is good. There's 54 games they've played this season. There are now 28 games left in the season. I'm not looking forward to the end of the season, but it's coming quick. And so we'll have, hopefully, our full contingent post All-Star game. And I don't want Gato, or JB to get hurt in this All-Star game. Play a couple minutes for the crowd and get out. Just, don't get hurt during the All-Star weekend, okay? And that's that. So, yeah. So we end up come to the break with a nice record, third in the East, solidly third in the East. I think they got like a 5-game cushion over the fourth place team, which is Indiana. Yeah, they got a 5.5-game cushion over Indiana. A 6.5-game cushion. No, it's 7. Wait, 6. They got 6-game cushion over Milwaukee and a 7.5-game cushion over Detroit. So we're pretty solidly in the third seed right now. And again, getting our full contingent back after the break. So this is good. I'm glad they got this W. You knew it was going to be like it was. Like I said, I think I said it yesterday's video. It's going to be a grind. They're going to get a lead. Let's see if they can hold them off because we know the tired legs will come out in the second night of a back-to-back in the second half. And that's what happened. And they were able to hold them off at the end. Fatigued as they were, they gutted out a win. This is good because these gut-out types of wins, where you're tired, where you got to grind, where every possession is important, that's playoff type basketball. And so they're getting ready for that. And Jalen Brunson is built for it. So this is really good. Gato has got a couple things going for him. Number one, he wants to go further in the playoffs. Last year, his team lost. They beat Denver. Then I think they lost in the Western Conference Finals to Dallas. So he's got to try to do better and lose the soft label. And he wants to win because he's in New York now, and he's excited to be in New York. Jalen Brunson is just the next step in his maturation of his legend growing in New York. Well, and then, of course, all the other guys, it's going to be exciting. So enjoy the time off. The Knicks need to rest. They're going to hopefully get healthy. Everybody comes back raring to go, and let's get this thing on the road. So it starts off right out the bat. You got Chicago at home, at Cleveland, at Boston. Let's come back and get it on. So enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy All-Star Weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Be safe out there. Shalom.